Fleishman is in Trouble is on Disney Plus, and this is it's an adaptation of a book, from what I can understand. I never heard about the book, but it's an adaptation of the book, and it is Jesse Eisenberg stars as a guy called Dr. Toby Fleischman, who is a Jewish New Yorker who is married with two kids. But when you first meet him in the book, he has recently gotten divorced. He is co-parenting his two kids with his ex-wife. He is a doctor, and he thinks, like, being a doctor is its own reward and everything like that. However, his wife, because she started off her life with nothing, is really, really social climbing. She's a theater agent, and she's all about, we need to live on the Upper East Side. We need to have this really, really great apartment. We need to put the kids in all of these classes. We need to have all these different friends and all that. And that was a large part of what broke them apart. That's a large part of what broke them apart, and led to them being divorced. And the whole premise of this is that he has started enjoying his single life. He has gotten onto all the apps. He has found a bevy of ladies who will have sex with him, like in New York. And the first episode is all about him going out there and doing that. Then at the end of the episode, he gets a voicemail from his wife, who says, I've had to go off for somewhere. The kids are with you. And she has snuck into his house in the middle of the night, dropped his kids off in the house, and she's gone off. And he's like, no, this isn't fair. I'm not supposed to have them until tomorrow. But he has the kids, and he goes on there. But as time goes on, she isn't picking up her phone. She isn't answering anything. He's trying to get in touch with her. And it appears that she has just abandoned the kids with him, and she has disappeared. And the show morphs because it's things like the show has a lot of narration, which I'm guessing is probably read directly from the book. But the narration is neither him nor his wife. The narration is his best friend, his best female friend, who he gets back in touch with. So there's three of them who went to Israel after they finished probably high school. After they finished high school, they went to Israel for like a year. Then they came back to the States, and he hasn't spoken to them in like 12 years because his wife didn't really get on with them and all that. But now that he gets back in touch with them, and it's all about. And it becomes this meditation on growing older and whether the person you were when you were younger is actually who you really were, and whether you're supposed to become when you get older. Is that okay to get older, or have you lost something of who you were supposed to be? And essentially, it's almost kind of like everybody in this film is in this show is having a midlife crisis, but a different type of midlife crisis, and they're asking all those questions. And the show that it seems to be in the first episode is totally not the show it is by the end. Because the show it seems to be like a sort of Sex in the City, this man going around and seeing how many things he can stick his member into in New York. But by the end, totally different show. It's almost as if it's like Game of Thrones. Reel them in, reel them in, reel them in. Aha! Political intrigue.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed it. This is one of the few things I've found myself recently watching, and then just sort of like zooming all the way through to the end. There's 8 episodes, and I finished watching all of them within about 2 days.
Wow.
So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. I feel like Jesse Eisenberg, he's playing, and this is probably insensitive to say, but in film trope language, if you say New York Jewish man, it seems like the only way you can play that is like some version of Woody Allen.
Yeah, it's like Woody Allen, yeah, as you said.
Yeah, and
that's what you think of when you hear those phrases.
Yeah, but it makes because there's bits of this where it looks like Jesse Eisenberg is doing a Woody Allen impression. It's like with the voice, the everything, the mannerisms, and I'm thinking. So are you trying to tell me, is every Jewish New Yorker man neurotic? Neurotic, almost germophobic, kind of like, can hardly handle life, like socially awkward. And I'm thinking, but that seems to be all you are presented with. And that grated with me a bit because I was thinking, hey, I don't know, maybe that is what Jewish male New York Jews are like. Maybe that's what they're like. But for me, I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, not again. Not just another person who just looks like Woody Allen. Are you just trying to tell me that Woody Allen is the archetypal New York Jew? I don't know. But that got a bit on my nerves. But I thought that the performances were great. Lizzie Kaplan as the friend. Adam Brody as his male best friend is good. The kid actors are really, really good. The kid actors are really, really good because the daughter is kind of like almost like a clone of her mum and can't stand Fleishman, and the son is like, a lot more kind of, oh yeah, dad, yeah, and it's almost kind of still like, dad, you're my hero, that kind of thing, and it's a bit more like him. And you have Claire Danes, who plays his wife, Rachel. And although there's bits about this talking about Jesse Eisenberg sort of copying what's his name, Woody Allen, there's bits about this where Claire Danes, her performance is very, very, very reminiscent of her performance in Homeland as what was her name? Carrie something. It wasn't Carrie. No, it wasn't Carrie Fisher. But anyway, the woman in Homeland. It's very, very reminiscent, and there's some beats where you're kind of like, oh, okay. Did they not realize that this was going to look just like Homeland when they casted this? But all in all, I thought it was quite good. I thought it was the ending I find, and I think I've come to this conclusion. If you're really, really enjoying something, so much so that you're sort of zooming through it, I feel like the ending can only disappoint. And the ending can only disappoint because it means it's over. And it means that there's no much more. So the ending of this, there were still storylines that I was like, but what about that? What about that? I want closure. I want to know how that. Don't give me the artistic thing and say it's up to me to figure out what that means. No! Tell me how that ends. And so there was a little bit of that towards the end, but all in all, I think it was good, and I'll give this a 4 out of 5. So 4 out of 5 for Fleishman is in Trouble. I would recommend it, Sharon, but be warned, especially the first episode. There's a hell of a lot of nipples.
Uh-oh.
So there's a hell of a lot of nipples, bum cheek. There's a bit where someone's naked in a swimming pool, and you see from a distance, but you see it. And it's but that lessens as you go through the episodes, and as it's almost kind of like, actually, yeah, it's almost kind of like it's adolescent at the beginning, but as you go old, it grows up. It's almost as if the show grows up. Yeah. But that's it. All right, cool. Who do you